1 hour. That means from Mondays up to from Mondays up to Saturdays, we always hear at West Nile TV, in the studios of West Nile TV, to give you what transpires in the world of sports. A lot of breaking stories continues to come on your way as far as sports concerned. Different sporting fraternities we are going to look at. The biggest of which is all about the return of FUFA Drum. Remember, something like 3 weeks, it has been a break for the ongoing FUFA Drum edition. It's returning over the weekend. The last games to be played in the group stages of the FUFA Drum, they are coming, and the biggest of it is all about the unveiled squad for West Nile Province to face Bugisu Province. Remember, their way to Mbale to play Bugisu Province. Will be doing analysis about that game, and also be in person to give you, of course, the players that have been submitted for the class against Bugisu. And also nationally, the Start Times FUFA Big League continues. No Start Times Uganda Premier League, Start Times FUFA Big League is still continuing, but the Start Times Uganda Premier League will be bouncing back till next week. It will be on 19th. That one will be probably the Saturday, not Saturday, rather the Thursday of next week. But FUFA Big League match day 4 continues. Yesterday we had one game on the card. It was between Boma FC and Ndeze University. That game, of course, was abandoned because of 1 or 2 reasons. We'll also be talking about that one. Still match day 4. The other fixtures are continuing today. Today we are having so many games to be played, and also bad news for the fans of Sports Club Vipers, as they have lost their goalkeeper. That's Mutegereza. He's going to be out injured until next year. That is the latest I can tell you, coming from the camp of Vipers. The goalkeeper is called Alfred Mutegereza. That means Fabian Mutumbera, the Burundian, of course, will be the one to stand between the stakes for the team of Venoms. That's Sports Club Vipers. And still within the country, there is also another big story, as Charles Ayeko has been appointed as the head coach of Crested Cranes on interim basis. That is the latest coming from the camp of Crested Cranes. And also another story is all about former Arsenal and Chelsea youth, former Arsenal and Chelsea youth coach. That's Chris McGinn is interested in becoming as the head coach of Uganda Cranes. We'll also be talking about that one. And international, the biggest of it is all about the return of the European Champions qualifiers. Today we are having so many games to be played. Tomorrow games will also be on the card. Over the weekend till next week we will be talking about European Champions qualifiers. Not only that one, remember the World Cup qualifiers in Africa is very soon bouncing back, and teams are also preparing, and we have in some of the African countries taking part in friendly games. And Uganda is one of them, but they are not playing their game today. Their game is actually tomorrow, and they will be playing that's African Giants, that's Mali, plus the other teams that are engaging in build-up matches, friendly matches. Egypt is having a game. You talk about Algeria, like they are playing Cape Verde, but I will be in person to give you the fixtures to be played in friendlies. Not only teams, countries from Africa playing friendlies, we have in countries all over the world, they are taking part in the friendlies. In European Championship, the biggest game actual tonight is the game between Scotland and Spain. Yes, Scotland, of course, they are traveling away to Spain, and a win for them, we will see them becoming the first country actually sailing the qualification for the Euro 2024 that shall be hosted by Germany. And as usual, we'll be finalizing everything with what is transpiring in the world of gossips. When we talk about gossips, know that we are talking about speculations. When we talk about speculations, know that we are talking about rumors. Players, clubs, they are preparing themselves. Players, of course, they are seeing where, of course, the next step is for them, and also clubs, which players, of course, can be able to fit into their system once the January transfer window will be open, whereas others are targeting some of these players and they will be signing them in the summer of that next year. Let's kickstart it with what is happening within the region. I did say, remember, the first highlight I had given you is all about the return of FUFA Drum. Actually, our producer can be able to bring for us the someone scored on the screen such that the viewers can be able to see which players, of course, have made it. If you take a look at the players, the goalkeepers, this time Western Nile Province, they have gone with the 2 goalkeepers, not the 3. The goalkeepers are Rogers Omedwa and Angufendo Norman. These are the goalkeepers that have always been making the score, 23-man squad. And if you take a look at the defenders that have been submitted by the region, we have got Okocha Rashid, former of Onduparaka, now playing for NEC FC, a team that plays in StarTimes Uganda Premier League. We have got Baiga Patrick, there is Brighty Vune. You talk about Amayo Ahimud, there is Yosel Raymond, Atendel Gergez, one of them, and lastly Fungaro Ronald. These are the defenders, of course, that have been submitted for the class against Bugisu. Now, if you take a look at the midfielders, I should say 80% of the midfielders actually they are playing for the team that's Onduparaka. Onduparaka is a team of late playing in StarTimes FUFA Big League. We have got Yakin Rashid. You talk about Andama Junior. You talk about Orombi Ronald. There is Mandela Malis. Equally, they have also gone for that young man Joel, and there is Rapemia Abang Cromwell. You talk about Bida Ezra, and lastly Onjima Peters. I said, you look at these names, these are familiar names that have always been there, the midfielders, and I said 80% of them they are playing for the team that's Onduparaka Football Club. And if we also take a look at the forwards, that is the strikers, I can say we have got Muhammad Saban Ejagason, who is playing for the team of Kasasiro Boys KCC. There is Amaku Fred, who is playing for Maroons, and lastly Okelo Elliot. And you take a look at the team officials. The manager is, of course, Mike Letty. The head coach is Caesar Samson Okuti. First assistant coach is Orom Chan Villa, plus the rest of the other personalities that are in the technical team. Remember, their game is up against. These are the squad, of course, that has been submitted by the region for the Bugisu class. The first leg of this game ended by 2-1. It was the team Western Nile Province that won it. The game was played in Arua City at Ababet Green Light Stadium, the own ground of Onduparaka Football Club. They beat the side Bugisu by 2-1 and are now heading for the reverse fixer. And if we take a look at how, of course, Western Nile Province has been performing in the group stages of the ongoing FUFA Drum edition, the first game they played, it was against Busoga. They were away. They were actually humiliated, which ended by 4-1. After that, immediately they played a host with the team. A host up against Bugisu, as I said, which ended by 2-1 in favor of Western Nile Province. And also after that, they had back-to-back wins, beating the team of Busoga in the reverse fixer. And now they are going for the last game in their group, and it's against the team that's Bugisu. Actually, they are honoring the fixer. They are playing the game for prestige. They have nothing to play for in the game. It's only Bugisu that is fighting for the win. They have to win, not only winning the game, and they should also be beating the team of Western Nile Province with a superior goal difference, because if you take a look at the goal difference between the team Bugisu Province and Busoga, it's actually Busoga is having a massive goal difference compared to that one of Bugisu. That means Western Nile Province, they are having nothing to play for in this game, maybe maintaining a good record against Bugisu. So the game is on Sunday, and as I said, this game will not be played in Western Nile. It will not be played in Ababet, not in Arua City, not in Adjumani, as the last game was played, that one between Western Nile Province and Bugisu. This time they are traveling away. After that, the next tie, of course, will be the knockout stages, as we will be saying in the quarterfinals. That's what I can tell you as far as the game between Western Nile Province and the team Bugisu Province is concerned. Let's leave that one there. We turn our focus to another league. This time we are shifting our focus to the second tier of Ugandan football. I am talking about StarTimes FUFA Big League. Yesterday there was one game on the card. It was a game between Ndeze University and the team that's Boma. This game actually did not end, and it was abandoned because of bad weather. The water was all over the pitch. The first half only ended, and by then it was the team Boma FC leading Dedza University by a goal to nil. Equal, we have games to be played today in StarTimes FUFA Big League. There is a game between Kataka up against Chiinda Boys. Jinza North United is having a game against Mbale Heroes. Meanwhile, Calvary, a team that comes from Yumbe, is actually heading to Karo Karunzi. Kataka, of course, they are playing newly promoted side in Chiinda Boys. Chiinda Boys beat Chigezi Homeboys in their last fixture. Chigezi Homeboys, meanwhile, they will be staying at home as they say hi to Dasi Chetume. Lugazi, of course, will be saying Karibu to Police, and Blacks Power will be making a trip away to a newly promoted side, that's Young Elephant. Briefly looking at some of these games one by one. The game between Dedza University up against Boma, of course, it has not ended yet. That's why we are seeing the result on the screen prematurely. Jinza North United up against Mbale Heroes. Jinza North United, a team that comes from Jinza, actually facing Mbale Heroes, a team that is based in Mbale City. A tough one for them. Jinza North United, of course, they are not doing very well. Meanwhile, Mbale Heroes, just like Jinza North United, they are not also doing very well. They have been having mixed results. That means it's a 50-50 contest between the two sides. And there is also another game between Chigezi Homeboys and Chetume. Chetume, actually, the first game, they won it. And also recently we saw them being beaten by the team of Onduparaka by 3-1 when they visited the Ababet-based club of Onduparaka. Meanwhile, you take a look at the team that's Chigezi Homeboys. They have actually not been doing well. Recently, they lost to Chiinda Boys, actually an affair between the newly promoted sides, but this time they are at home, and the team that's Chetume is making a trip away to them. Another game is actually between Blacks Power and Young Elephants. Blacks Power is a team that started the season very well, edging the team Caterpillars by a goal to nil. Meanwhile, you talk about the team that's Young Elephants. They are yet to pick a win. Recently, they lost their game, being beaten by some of the teams like Calvary, but this time they are sitting at home at Kamuli to entertain the side. That's Blacks Power. Blacks Power is, of course, a team. Remember, this is a northern region affair, a derby. Blacks Power, of course, is a team that comes from Lira. Meanwhile, you talk about Young Elephant. Young Elephant is actually a team that comes from within northern region. So it's going to be more of a derby between the two sides. That's Blacks Power up against the team that's Young Elephant. Blacks Power, they have also not been performing very well, picking mixed results. Though the starting game, it was a convincing win for them against their rivals on Tupalaka. But we are yet to see if they can be in position to overcome the side. That's why Young Elephant, or else we may be seeing Young Elephant picking their first win of the season up against their neighbors, that's Blacks Power. And they have already talked about the game between Mbale Heroes and the side Jinza North United. Another game which I don't want to leave out is actually a game between Calvary and the team that's Karo Karunzi. Karo Karunzi is actually a team that has been performing very well. Last season, towards the end of last season, they picked the form. They were performing extremely well. I remember they came to Midigo Primary, that is the home ground for the team Calvary, and they managed to humiliate Calvary. This time Calvary, of course, is taking the trip away. Recently, they played the team that's Lugazi. Lugazi, of course, aced them by a goal to nil. But for Calvary, the first two fixtures they played, they performed very well, beating newly promoted sides. The first win they had, I think it was up against the Chigezi Homeboys. After that, they had to edge out a certain Young Elephant. By then, they were having 6 points. But the recent fixture, match day 3, was a defeat on their side, losing into the hands of Lugazi by a goal to nil. This is their fourth fixture of the season, and they are traveling away to Karo Karunzi. Karo Karunzi, they have also been having mixed results, just like the team of Calvary. But if you take a look at the head-to-head, the profile, everything, the CV, what between the two teams, I can confirm to you it is actually favored the team that's Karo Karunzi. This time Calvary, they are leaving West Nile, particularly Yumbe district, traveling away to Karo Karunzi. Tomorrow we'll be in position to bring for you how these games are going to transpire come this evening in the StarTimes FUFA Big League. And another game actually I want to talk about is a game between Lugazi FC and Police. Police is still unbeaten. Lugazi is also unbeaten. Lugazi, they are doing well, just like Police FC, they are doing well. What does it mean ahead of this contest? It means it's a 50-50 game, a 50-50 class between the two sides. Police, they will want to maintain their unbeaten record. Remember, the focus is all about Police because they have got everything this time to see that they cross over to Start Times Uganda Premier League. You also take a look at Lugazi. Lugazi, alongside teams like Boma FC, Calvary, these were the teams last season that finished closer to the teams that earned the promotion. You talk about Boma FC, Lugazi, Calvary. That's why this season they have the ambition. They are very ambitious to see that they need to leave this league and cross over to the famous league of Uganda, Start Times Uganda Premier League. But this class is not going to be an easy one. Matthias Police is having so many good players. Lugazi, we should not rule them completely out of the game. Matthias Police has been winning these games. Actually, they have also been conceding goals. Most of the wins they have been picking, they have not been coming in an easy way. You see them winning, sometimes you see them conceding, sometimes you see them having that edging result, edging wins. That is the update I can give you in the game between Police FC and the team that's Lugazi. Briefly, I need to give you the fixtures again. Katake is having a game up against Inda Boys. Chigezi Homeboys is taking on the team that's Chetume. Meanwhile, Black Power, of course, is having a game up against the Young Elephant. There is a game between Mbale Heroes as they are taking the trip away to Dasi Zinzanov United. Karo Karunzi, as I said, up against Calvary. And lastly, Lugazi, of course, is having a game up against Police. Let's leave that one and we take our trip to another story. This time we are shifting our focus to what is happening in the top tier of Ugandan football, Start Times Uganda Premier League. We are not looking at the games, they are not fixtures that have been scheduled to come on the way. We are not looking at the table standing. We are not looking at the results, but we are looking at a bad news for the team of Sports Club Vipers as they have already lost. That's Alfred Mudekereza, a goalkeeper. Their custodian is going to be out injured for the club until next season, until next year, I should say. This player actually sustained the injury last year towards the closer of last year. The injuries, of course, he broke his small finger from the left hand side. So that guy broke his small finger. That is the kind of injury. Some people might be thinking that he has just sustained the injury, but the injury was sustained last season. That is the latest update I can give you as far as the injury of Alfred Mutekereza is concerned. Remember, he's someone from Congo, our neighbors here, but the team of Vipers still having so many good goalkeepers. Kumaketi is still there in the list. You talk about Fabian Mutombora, the guy who comes from Burundi. Actually, he has been the first choice goalkeeper for the team of Vipers ever since losing out Alfred Mudekereza out injured. So that is the update I can give you concerning the injury of Alfred Mudekereza. Remember, Vipers of late has been hit hard by two key players that are going to see them out injured for a longer period of time. The first one was Alan Okello, a newly signed player on free transfer after his contract with Paradu, a team that plays in Algeria, was terminated. So they did take that quick decision to see that they lure his services. But coming to the camp of St. Mary's based club, he has not touched any ball, but he's out injured until the second phase of the season. That means we will be seeing Alan Okello returning for the team of Vipers until the second stanza of the ongoing season. That means Fabian Mutombora, of course, will still have to battle it out with Kumaket to see who will be the #1 custodian for the team of Vipers. But as I talk right now, they are still relying on the man, that's Fabian Mutombora. So that is the latest update coming from the camp of Vipers. Let's leave that one there and we talk about another story. Another story I don't want us to leave out is all about Charles Ayeko being named as the head coach of Crested Cranes on interim basis, not permanently, but on interim basis. When the term alone, I need to explain it to you because some of you may not understand when a coach is appointed on interim basis. When someone is appointed on interim basis, that means it is on a short spell. When they get the permanent manager, you will see this person leaving that camp. How long he's going to be with the Crested Cranes has not been revealed, but the fact is he's going to work on interim basis. Even tomorrow, the Crested Cranes, when we talk about Crested Cranes, know that we are actually talking about the female team of Uganda. Anytime, even this afternoon, this evening, either tomorrow, as next month, next week, they may decide to say that you go, we have got a permanent job. That is the meaning of appointing a coach on interim basis. That's Ayeko Charles, who has been appointed as the interim coach of Crested Cranes. Remember, Crested Cranes, they having a tense game coming ahead of them. The actual fighting for the biggest of it is fighting for the Olympic qualifiers, Olympic Games that will be taking place next year in Paris. Paris is, of course, the capital city of France. That means Olympics this time will be hosted by France. Unlike last year, that was hosted by Birmingham. Birmingham is actually a city that is based in England, but next year it's going to be hosted by France. They are having a very big game actually coming ahead of them. I've been actually repeating this one, singing this one each and every time we talk about the Crested Cranes. They are having a very big game up against Cameroon. The game is coming very soon, so the board has been preparing to see how they can actually face Cameroon. Cameroon, actually, I should say, the observation I've been making about Cameroon, actually, they are one of the best. They are one of the best countries, best countries in Africa, performing very well as far as female football is concerned. They have actually been making the consistency in the female World Cup. Unlike this season's World Cup, where of course they missed it, that was hosted by Australia and New Zealand. This time, they are fighting to see that this will be part of the ladies team, as it will be happening in France. Remember, the preliminary rounds, of course, have already been played. We saw the team of Cameroon eliminating Ethiopia in aggregate. Meanwhile, Uganda in the preliminary round, they were up against Rwanda. The first game was played. The game was played on home and away basis, but they were hosted in Rwanda. The home game for Uganda by then was also played in Rwanda. Uganda managed to advance to this round by eliminating Rwandan ladies by 4-3. That is how they are going to now face the side Cameroon. Cameroon, a very tough side, so it's going to be something very hard for our Crested Cranes to see that they go past. Once they eliminate Cameroon, it will be the time for them to seal the ticket to France. And if Cameroon also emerge as the victorious side against the team that's Uganda, Cameroon will also be sealing the ticket to that's France. And recently, our queens, Crested Queens, of course, is the teenage team for the Crested Cranes, the under-20s, under-21s. Recently, they also had a game up against Mozambique. Theirs is, of course, World Cup qualifiers that will be taking place next year. So we saw them thumping that Mozambique by 6-0. Actually, the return league is tomorrow. Return league will be at the technical center in Nzeru. So that means the way I'm seeing, they already through either meeting Senegal. Senegal, just like Cameroon, they're also one of the biggest sides, I should say, as far as ladies football in Africa is concerned. And as Uganda is tussling it out with Mozambique, on the other side, Senegal is also fighting it against the team that's Benin. And as I talk right now, Senegal is already 2 goals ahead of that's Benin. In case Benin cannot overturn that result, we may see Senegal going through. Meanwhile, you look at the goal difference between Uganda and Mozambique, I should say it's extremely too much. I don't think Mozambique will be in position to overcome now our Crested Cranes, not Crested Cranes, rather I am talking about our Queens under 20. Maybe they will have to do magic. But the good thing is, in football, anything can happen. Can they be able to beat Uganda this time by 6-0 minus Uganda converting any ball into the back of the net is what I am seeing. But the way I am seeing, 99% Uganda is already through. Moreover, the game is also going to be at home. The vibe is going to be too much. I am seeing our Queens, that's Uganda, facing that's Senegal. I also don't think Benin will be able to surpass that Senegal. And also, remember, this period is very busy. This is a busy month for our country. They are taking part in different sporting activities. As ladies are tossing it out, both the queens and also the crested cranes. Tomorrow there is also another big encounter, but not within the country, but they are traveling away to Mali. And as I talk right now, the team is already that side of Mali. Yesterday we talked lengthy about the unveiled squad with Susie Linda when we are doing the same program Whistle Time here in the studios of West Nile TV, which I don't want to go back and discuss about the travel squad. What I want to say is I'm giving the update of the game between Uganda and Mali. The game is actually tomorrow. Actually, Uganda, of course, they have been pitted in a dangerous group alongside countries like Guinea. You talk about Algeria. Algeria, of course, has always been coming against Uganda. You talk about Mozambique. Botswana is also there. Somalia. And the team, that's Uganda themselves, and most of their opponents in their group, of course, they are playing build-up matches, and one of it is actually happened today, and that one takes us to some of the games to be played today in the international friendlies. Actually, the producer can help us to display the games to be played today in the international friendlies. Egypt actually is also having a game. Meanwhile, the opponents, one of the opponents of Uganda, Algeria, is also having a game. Their opponents actually Cape Verde. Somalia is also equally having a game, but their game is not today. And briefly taking a look at the games to be played, Georgia is playing in Thailand. Montenegro is having a game up against Lebanon. Meanwhile, Poland under 18 is having a date up against Sweden under 18. Russia, of course, is entertaining that's Cameroon for Vincent Abakare. Slovakia under 21 is having a game up against Poland under 21. United Arab Emirates, you can call them UAE, in sort up against Kuwait. Netherlands, the Dutch under 19 youth, they are having a game up against Switzerland youth under 19. Meanwhile, the senior team of Sweden is having a game up against Moldova. This is where Serif Tiraspol comes from. The youth team of Portugal, this time the category of under 18, is having a game up against Romania under 18. Egypt under 23 is having a game up against Jordan under 23. Austria is having a game up against Norway. And as I said lastly, there is a game between Algeria and Cape Verde. I want to repeat it again. The game for Uganda up against Mali will actually be tomorrow. After that, Uganda will be playing a game with Zambia. And after these two international friendlies, we will see the real competition coming back on the table. That's World Cup qualifiers. Before actually we go for the first half break, let's finalize the first stanza of the show with what is coming within the camp of Uganda Cranes. As we have seen, former Arsenal and Chelsea youth coach, that's the name of the coach, of course, is called Chris Magin. This guy is actually interested in becoming as the head coach of Uganda Cranes. He's actually one of the foreign coaches interested in taking over that job. We are waiting for the space whether that one will happen. Not only he has not only worked with the Chelsea and Arsenal, he has also worked with some of the clubs and countries. Recently working with the Ghana under 20, and also he has worked with the clubs like Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient, I think right now they should be playing in Sky Bet League 2 of England, or Sky Bet League 1 of England, working with the Queen's Park Rangers, and he has also nurtured some of the great players that are currently playing. You talk about Zamora. I know most of the football fans, they can remember Zamora. You talk about Raheem Sterling, by then he was still playing for Queen's Park Rangers. He's actually the very guy, that's Chris McGinn, who nurtured that's Sterling to become who he is right now. And that one brings us to give you a brief profile about Raheem Sterling. Remember, Liverpool actually acquired his services from the team of Queen's Park Rangers before selling him to Manchester City. Right now he's playing for the team that's Chelsea. Zamora, so many of you can remember Zamora. You also have the player who played for the team that's Fulham. He also worked with the youth academy of Bristol City, but entirely he worked with the Arsenal and Chelsea youth team, nurturing so many players like Gibbs, Gibbs, that left back. I know if you will flash back, so many can be able to remember that guy leaving Arsenal, going to teams like West Bromwich Albion. Zach Wilshere is also one of